We are going to do a book talk today on Ghost by Jason Reynolds. This is an incredible book about a young African-American boy who has a tragic thing happen to him early in life that really makes his life kind of go out of control. He gets in trouble in school, but he ends up joining a track team that changes his life. And this is an incredible book. It's one of 4 in Jason Reynolds' track series, and each book is kind of focused on and revolves around a different character on this track team. And the plot moves forward throughout all 4 books. This is a National Book Award finalist. One thing I love about this book is because you kind of get to see a character who gets in trouble and has some flaws, but you kind of get to see him have some redemption and kind of grow as a character throughout the book. It's really cool. Another thing that's great about it is that it's very authentic. So what I mean is it's not one of those things where the kid acts in a fake way. He acts just like a real kid would. So, for example, early in the book, he gets into some trouble at school. And when he sees the principal asks, well, why didn't you tell a teacher? And you know why he didn't tell a teacher. You know why he acts the way he did. And, when I put myself in his shoes, I would have acted the exact same way. Whereas as a teacher, if I saw a kid getting into trouble, I would probably say, why didn't you tell a teacher? So you really understand things. It's not phony. It's a realistic book. And I hope you go out and read it. It's incredible. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to read a very short excerpt from this to kind of give you an introduction to the book. So this excerpt that I'm going to read is going to kind of give you some background as to why Ghost acts the way he does. About the sunflower seeds. I used to just put a whole bunch of them in my mouth at the same time, suck all the salt off, then spit them out, machine gun style. I could have probably set a world record in that too, but now I've matured. Now I take my time, moving them around, positioning them for the perfect bite to pop open the shell, then carefully separating the seed from it with my tongue. Then, and this is the hard part, keeping the little seed safe in the space between my teeth and tongue, I spit the shells out. And finally, after all that, I chew the seed up. I'm like a master at it, even though, honestly, sunflower seeds don't taste like nothing. I'm not even sure they're really worth all the hassle, but I like the process anyway. My dad used to eat sunflower seeds too. That's where I get it from. But he used to chew the whole thing up, the shells, the seeds, everything. Just devour them like some kind of beast. When I was really young, I used to ask him if a sunflower was going to grow inside him since he ate the seed so much. He was always watching some kind of game like football or basketball, and he'd turn to me for a second, just long enough to not miss a play, and say, "Sunflowers are all up in me, kid." Then he'd shake up the seeds in his palm like dice, before throwing another bunch in his grill to chomp down on. But let me tell you, my dad was lying. Wasn't no sunflowers growing in him. Couldn't have been. I don't know a whole lot about sunflowers, but I know they're pretty and girls like them. And I know the word sunflower is made up of 2 good words. And that man ain't got 2 good words in him, or anything that any girl would like, because girls don't like men who try to shoot them in their sun. And that's the kind of man he was. It was 3 years ago when my dad lost it, when the liquor made him meaner than he'd ever been. Every other night, he would become a different person, like he'd morph into someone crazy. But this one night, my mother decided to finally fight back. This one night, everything went worse. I had my head sandwiched between the mattress and my pillow, something I got used to doing whenever they were going at it, when my mom crashed into my bedroom. "We gotta go," she said, yanking the covers off my bed. And when I didn't move fast enough, she yelled, "Come on!" Next thing I knew, she was dragging me down the hallway, my feet tripping over themselves. And that's when I looked back and saw him, my dad, staggering from the bedroom, his lips bloody, a pistol in his hand. "Don't make me do this, Terry," he angry begged. But me and my mom kept rolling. The sound of the gun cocking, the sound of the door unlocking. As soon as she swung the door open, my dad fired a shot. He was shooting at us, my dad. My dad was actually shooting at us, his wife and his boy. I didn't look to see what he hit, mainly because I was scared it was going to be me. Or Ma. The sound was big and sharp enough to make me feel like my brain was going to pop in my head, enough to make my heart hiccup. But the craziest thing was, I felt like the shot, loudest sound I ever heard, made my legs move even faster. I don't know if that's possible, but that's definitely what it seemed like. My mom and I kept running down the staircase, into the street, breaking into the darkness with death chasing behind us. We ran and ran and ran until finally we came up to Mr. Charles's store, which, luckily for us, stays open 24/7. Mr. Charles took one look at me and my mom, out of breath, crying, barefoot in our pajamas, and hid us in the storage room while he called the cops. We stayed there all night. I haven't seen my dad since. Ma said the cops said that when they got to the house, he was sitting outside on the steps, shirtless, with a pistol beside him, guzzling beer, eating sunflower seeds, waiting. Like he wanted to get caught. Like it was no big deal. They gave him 10 years in prison, and to be honest, I don't know if I'm happy about that or not. Sometimes, I wish he would have gotten forever in jail. Other times, I wish he was home on the couch, watching the game, shaking seeds in his hand. Either way, one thing is for sure. That was the night I learned how to run. So when I was done sitting at the bus stop in front of the gym and came across all those kids on the track at the park practicing, I had to go see what was going on. Because running ain't nothing I ever had to practice. It's just something I knew how to do. That was a short excerpt from one of the early chapters in Ghost. I highly recommend you go out and check out this book. It is an incredible read. And like I said, it's just an authentic, amazing book. Happy reading.